Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari, King Selassie the First, for real. Welcome to It's Our Thoughts, Not Yours. I am your host, OG, and normally I would say alongside my co-host, Little Bully and Lash, but they're on vacation. They're in Cali. So today I have a special guest host. I call him the voice of God, but he's a humble man. His name is Ryan. Ryan, introduce yourself. Give the peoples your social media handles and all of that good jazz.
What's happening? My name is Ryan, but I go by Barry Beige. Catch me on IG, Barry Beige _3481. I sing, I joke, and I talk shit.
That's right. That's my man right there. Barry Beige. But I call this man the voice of God. Yes. So before we start the show, a little fun fact for y'all. Before we started the show, I had to call my son on vacation. Now, mind you, I was trying my best not to call this little dude because he's on vacation. He's chilling. He's in Cali. But I was having issues with the audio. I couldn't find my recordings. I'm like, yo, son, how do I do all of this crap? Remember, I told y'all I'm new at this, but the type of man I am, I just need some time to play around with all the software and stuff until it registers in my brain because it's just muscle memory. So right now, you know, I'm stumbling, but my salt. And that's another thing. Freestyle. Yeah. No edit. One take. So if I stumble on my words, it is what it is. I'm an MC. So I called my son. He guided me through and explained to me how everything works. And I figured it out. So we good. So I just wanted to give y'all that little sidebar real quick before we start the show. And today, I'm going to play my man, Kwame Brown again. Hey, go subscribe to this man's channel. It's called Kwame Brown Bus Life. You know, this dude is mad funny. I told y'all last week. He gives a lot of gems and he gives you comedy at the same time. So today he's talking about something that's really serious that I want to give my thoughts on, that I want to hear Ryan's thoughts on, because I can relate. You know, that's the thing about me. I look at things in a three-dimensional perspective. So I always look at things three ways, and I can relate to this story he's going to share. So I'm going to play some of Kwame Brown's clip, what he's discussing, and then Ryan and I are going to give our take.
Kid's mother that just can't let go. And I wish my mother was here because my mother would have kicked her drawers in her ass with the Bible. My mama changed her life. She'd put that Bible on her ass. But it's a shame what a lot of women are allowing younger women to do. Here it is. You have a man that has given a woman more money than the law allows. And I've had the police called on me more times than anything you can think of. I'm going to go get the report. I had the police called on me when I opened up my restaurant, Asani's Cafe. We had the grand opening. So all on Facebook, all of this stuff is documented. See, that's the thing about me. When you come fucking with me, your proof gonna look stupid because I got the real proof. I opened up a restaurant in Savannah. You can walk to Savannah High School from it. Right around the time I'm going to court for this young lady and my children, I've never been on child support with this young lady because men like me don't need child support. The moment I start talking to another woman and brought a woman down where my baby mama saw it, I ended up on child support.
See, I'm going to pause it right there. This boggles my mind again. I don't understand, right, why some women, not all, just some, use the child as a shield. I never understood that, especially if the man is trying his best to be in the child's life and the mom is using that as an advantage To me, that is so messed up. It's unfair to the child. What are your thoughts?
I think a lot of these ladies, like Kwame said, not all, but it's just the time that we're living in now. They're not giving birth to children; they're giving birth to tools.
Right.
They're off doing their own thing after the relationship don't work out. But the second they see you with an opportunity for happiness to kind of start over, they feel that just because they're happy, everybody needs to be miserable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Including the kids too. That's what's fucked up.
Yo, I think that's the reason why I never had any more children.
Yeah.
Because not my ex-wife. She was one thing about her, and I give her so much respect for. She didn't use my son Latrell as a shield. Like she made sure I was in that little dude's life. Like she made sure, like her upbringing was pretty rough.
Yeah.
So for her, it was really important that, because I seen it with my stepson, she made sure my stepson's father was in my stepson's life. So she made sure that when me and Latrell, it was the same thing. Even though her and I, the marriage ended and we were separated, she never used my son as a shield. She put me through hell though.
Yeah.
But when it came to my son, nope. It was like, this is our child. He has nothing to do with me and you. So she was weird like that. She would put me through hell, but when it came to my son, nah, it was all peace and love. Now my first son, oh my God, son, that woman, she put me through hell.
Wow.
So we're going to continue with Mr. Kwame Brown. I'm going to discuss a little more. We shall continue.
The truck that she drives, the Denali truck, like that bitch ass nigga Tammy, my baby mama drive that truck. That's the truck I got from my baby mama, nigga, that you driving for yourself, cussing a woman out for. Yeah, that's a baby mama truck for me. But anywho, not to brag, but the fact that I've done so much, and when I go to the school to pick up my child, I have joint custody of my daughter. But when I go pick her up from school or do anything, take her to lunch, it's like they got to call the police for me to go sit with my daughter in the lunch line. So much so I had to call the attorney, and the attorney said there's no rules and guidelines against him going to the school. What's going on? And I could have had a lawsuit against the school, but there's Black women in that school. So why would I do that? And there's too many men doing this. Men, you have stayed quiet long enough. We have taken this bullshit that we are deadbeats long enough. Some of you ladies just can't let go. Now, I'm sorry I tore that ass up, but it don't make sense that you got 3 kids by a man 6 years apart that you alleging ain't shit. You supposed to be the most educated motherfucker in the world. There's 6 years between each of our children, and you couldn't figure out not one time you ain't like me?
I'm gonna pause it right there. Yeah. That's why I'm bringing up this topic, because he's right. It's like, I paid my obligation for both of my sons.
Yeah.
I didn't miss not one damn payment. So he's absolutely right. If that's why I said in the beginning, if you're a father that's trying to do all the right things like I was, son, you have every right to be in your child's life. Like I made sure I paid that child support. And with my first son, a little sidebar here. My first son, him and I do not have a relationship at all. He resents me, and he should. Because if I was in his position, I would resent me too. Because there's an old saying, you don't know what you don't know. So he has no clue what went on between me and his mom. He only knows one side, his mother's side.
Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't know that the name that he bears right now is not even my name. The name that he bears is the man my baby mom's decided, which was her husband at the time. She decided to give my son to him. Okay. So I did not know I had a son, right? Latrell, I believe, was about 2 or 3 years old when I found out I had a son. And I was so disappointed because I'm a black man and I was very conscious, very. I was like, you know what? If I do have kids, I want to make sure it's with somebody I'm going to marry. I want to raise my child in a stable home. I want my son or daughter to see that there's stability. So when they grow up and they decide to have kids, it's not going to be in a broken home. They're not going to have no baby mama, baby daddy, none of that nonsense. You get married, you raise your kids in a stable home, and you pass that down to generation to generation. I was trying to stop the damn cycle of black men being baby daddies. I fucking hate that term. It drives me insane. It's, to me, it's disrespectful and it's annoying as hell. I didn't want that label on me. I didn't want to be part of that stat. I really wanted to be, you know, the dude that was married, settled down, had kids. Now I'm finding out I have a son out there. So I made a conscious decision, right? In the law, it states I didn't have to take that DNA test because she already gave that child to her husband. So I was the biological father. By law, her husband is the father. But that's not the way my mama raised me, man. My mama's season is different. So I knew if I went to go take this DNA test, I'm going to be on the hook. I already knew that. But before I went to take the DNA test, I went to go see my son. And I looked at this dude and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's my son. She said no. She told me that my son wasn't my son when he was born because I saw him when he was a little baby when he was first born. I ran into her and I saw and I asked her to her face, is this my son? And she said no. So I said, okay. 2-3 years later, I get a knock at my door. It's her telling me I have a son, that this is my son. So I'm like, what in the world? You told me I didn't have a son. You told me I didn't have a son. So I went and I took the DNA test. It comes back, long story short, comes back, he's my son. So I ended up having to pay back child support.
Wow.
I ended up having to pay back child support, which drove me insane. And this whole process, dude, was so annoying because the courts, they don't care. Once you're the paying custodian parent, man, the courts don't care, man. So I went in there. It was just a horrible process. I wanted to make sure that my son was taken care of. That's my whole mindset through the whole process. But I just wanted a fair deal because these numbers they were throwing around, I'm like, where are you people coming up with these numbers? Yeah. And then they're pulling up stats of based on your income. The state of Massachusetts can take up to 50% of your income. I'm like, hey, I'm married and I have 2 other kids at home. Hey, we got to make a fair deal.
Yeah.
So I finally convinced this woman to come off her high horse because I'm like, hey, money you're asking for, you bugging. So she finally gave me a deal I can handle. And my son, to this day, he carries this other man's name. He doesn't carry my name because that was another thing. Like I was watching her. I know I could have went and had the name changed, but I'm watching this woman. I'm like, I wonder if she's going to actually change this dude's name. She never changed his name. So I already knew that all she wanted me for was just money. I don't even think my son saw a dime.
That's how it usually works.
So yeah, I know that was long and winded. My fault, Ryan. Your talk.
No. Keep going. I'm still listening to the rest of the story. I'm just saying that that's here in the U.S. That's usually how it goes.
It was rough, man. You have any kids? You have any kids?
Nah, never been married either.
Look at that. You're lucky.
I came from a pretty broken household, so mom and dad fighting like cats and dogs. I was a relationship therapist since I was 7 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know that.
These 2 individuals, you know, didn't have the healthiest coping mechanisms, so they didn't have friends to vent to, so they came to me individually. You know what I'm saying? So
look at that. As a young child, look at that position you're put in. That's nuts.
No, facts. That's why I had a couple women with some pregnancy scares or whatever, but come to find out, you know, that these all happened after the relationship was over. So they were trying to use this as a tool for the comeback. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man. That's the thing that bothers me with the child support stuff is
Yeah.
you have no control over that money. You don't know if that's going to the child or not. Like you have no
Yeah.
control. Like me and my son have had an on and off, like he's been in and out of my life on and off. And I'm trying my best now to try to mend that relationship because
Yeah.
like I said earlier, you don't know what you don't know. So I want to have a man-to-man conversation with him about everything. And when everything is laid out on the table, he can take everything and think about it logically and then make a decision then. If you still have resentment for me, then so be it. But at the end of the day, I'm still your father and I still love you.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he thinks or what he knows, yes, I love him. You are my child. And like I said earlier, I definitely understand if he resents me. And it doesn't make me feel no way because if I was in his position, I would resent me too. But
Yeah,
we're not done.
it's not his fault. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. It's not his fault, but we're not done. We shall continue with Mr. Brown.
Facts.
Jesus Christ. And it's not that I need to wrap it up. This was a girl that I was with out of high school. Didn't y'all say love her them death? Be with them, be with the black queens. I built her up, bought her Mercedes and every damn thing else, put her through school and every damn thing else. What the fuck else you want from me?
Damn.
Soon as I decide to leave and move the fuck on, they want to put an apple in a man's mouth that don't bow to a woman. And I will never bow to nobody. Nobody. You know how many friends I got that are police officers that I see them get their ass whipped by their wife because they can't have an altercation with a woman? Do you know how many military men I know that are getting destroyed by women? That they're fucking all of their friends and still taking their pension. This shit is a shame what some of these women are doing. So I opened a restaurant in 2019. And because I left a woman alone and I do not want nothing to do with her, when I don't come to the game, because I used to call her and say, hey, you working, right? So you're not going to our daughter's game. So then I'll go. Because you know, I don't want to be in the same room with you. Because I know how you lie and your mama taught you how to lie. I don't want to go nowhere near you. So if you're not going, then I'm going. She would always make time to go to the game. I'm like, damn, I can't even find a way around my daughter without this motherfucker. Now, oh, you want another apple? I'm sorry. Here you go. You ain't got to cuss me out now. Y'all ladies tripping. Here you go, girl.
He's feeding his dog.
3 of them. Calm down. I'm going to take. See? This is how you take care of the ladies. Calm down, girl. You look at all that jazz. Jesus Christ. And so, anyway, back to the story. Us men, we got an apple in our mouth. If we don't do what women say, somehow we demonize. Facts be damned. Receipts be damned. If you don't kiss a woman's ass, it seems like you in trouble. So I'm inside working at my brand new restaurant that I put granite all through the motherfucker. It's on Facebook. You can see it. TVs, everything. I'm proud. It was in my mama name too, bitch ass nigga. But you know, I ain't do nothing for my mama, but my mom name, you know, not a name, but I ain't gonna tell you. But she owned my shit. But anywho, but I'm in the kitchen working in a restaurant that I own. And I get a knock, well, not a knock. The police come in front of my customers and say, I need to talk to you, Mr. Brown. You need to talk to me. Talk to me for what? I need to talk to you. I had to go outside. They have this new thing called, well, I don't know about a new thing. It was new to me. A woman can call the cops and say, I need a welfare check on my child. Even if you were just with your child on Facebook and they were in the pool having a good time, they can do what's called a welfare check. Now, you can do it too, men. The difference is no police officer is going to show up. Allegedly, I think I snapped. But women can do this thing called a welfare check. So if you are a baby daddy that's worth the salt on your back and they want to do certain things to you to fuck up with you, what they do is they say, well, I ain't talked to my baby. And a woman in duress will make the president come to their house.
Facts.
Yeah.
I can't find my baby. He with the baby daddy that do everything for her, that put her in private school. They ain't gonna say that part. That bought me a truck that I drive to the courthouse. They ain't gonna say that part. That do everything for the kids and all the insurance and everything, buy CDs and all this shit. They ain't gonna say that part. They're gonna act like it's an issue. And guess what happens? The police get in a black man business in the United States when most of these encounters with police officers ends in a man getting shot. Or
pause it right there.
Yeah.
I have a rule in relationships, especially when I date outside of my race. Excuse me, I have a rule. And that rule is no police, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because as a black man in America, I do not care. When that police come, bad things happen because I don't know what it is with police officers and black men. But
They're leaving with somebody.
Yeah, shit just escalates and gets out of control. So therefore, I have a rule, man. No matter what happens, as long as I don't put my damn hands on you, which I will not, because I'm not that type of dude,
Yeah.
there should be no police involved. Because once police comes, I'm done with you. Like, I'm done. I don't care how much I love you. I don't care how good the sex is. I don't care how much you did for me or whatever. Once the police comes, that relationship is done. Like,
that's a wrap.
It's a wrap. So
that's gonna be a repeat issue every time she gets mad.
Exactly. And now this is what Mr. Brown is going through, all because he doesn't want to deal with this woman. This has nothing to do with him being a deadbeat. It's because he doesn't want to deal with her, and she just can't get out of her feelings. So now she's using the kids as a shield.
Yeah.
Despite him.
As far as rules, my rules mainly tailored to other single men, mainly younger men, is if a woman is, if you see that she might even feel uncomfortable, go home or have her leave. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Don't stick around. I've always had a rule ever since I started dating is if you're a lady, I meet you out somewhere, we're all having a good time and we've been drinking, we're going to exchange numbers. Call me when you get home. And then when you sober up, call me in the morning and then we can plan from there.
Exactly.
I'll be god damned if I ever lay down with a woman that's been drinking.
Same here.
Or that's been under the influence of anything. You know what I'm saying?
Here. Same here. I don't play that. I'm like, nope. We gonna, whatever we doing, your ass is gonna be sober.
and I keep good tabs on myself. I always post, where I am, that way if anything's to come up, I keep text messages, all that.
Receipts. Yes. In this day and age, you gotta have receipts now, man. Trust me. I'm 46 years old. So now I have to use these stupid dating apps to go on dates. And I'm telling you, some of these women that I meet, and these are professional women, like real professional women. And just like scam, you, man. I have to keep receipts.
It's a scam. It's a hustle, man.
It sure is, dude. Yo, that is absolutely nuts, man. We're gonna continue with Mr. Brown, man. It's nuts.
OnlyFans. No, I'm playing.
Hey, that's about to end. That OnlyFans is about to end in October.
Good, because it was just a gang. It was legalized. It was low key like prostitution.
It was Pornhub.
A legalized form of it.
It was Pornhub. I'm like, yo, this is Pornhub. It's just OnlyFans porn.
well, I've never typed the words only and fans in conjunction with each other, just because there are women down the street. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I'll be damned if I pay a subscription to anything like that. But yeah, man, that's a hustle. A lot of women are gonna go back to working at Chili's and the gas station and shit.
Yo, there's a dude named Kevin Samuels, man. He brought that up. Like, he already. I was gonna.
He predicted it.
Yeah, he predicted it, man. He's like, hey, y'all better be saving that money. You better be investing that money in it. These women are like, they got the good hustle going. And he's like, that's not gonna last. He said, if that website wants to live, they're gonna have to change their platform. And I love women, and I don't knock any woman's hustle. I always say do what you got to do,
But
but
you
I
also have to
agree.
be mindful.
Yes, I
You,
agree
you
with
you
that.
also have to be able to look down the street and see what's waiting for you. You
Facts.
know what I'm saying? If you got yourself a new apartment with higher rent and you're doing all these trips and all that, like I
Mhm.
said, like he said, I hope you have a plan.
That was my only thing. I was like, when I discussed the OnlyFans, I'm like, that's not for me. And I'm like, I hope those women are saving that bread because I'm looking at that
Facts.
thing. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna keep that platform up because it's like what you stated. It's like prostitution. And yeah, you're in the comfort of your own home. I get it. It's safe. I understand. But I hope these ladies plan. But
Well, it's also dangerous because I doubt they're verifying ID. So you don't know if everyone's of age. You don't know who's looking at that shit.
correct.
Yeah, bro, it's a whole mess they opened up. But I'm glad it's ending. I'm glad it's ending.
Yeah, October 1st.
It's about to be a sobering moment for America.
I know, right? Where's all the Simpson whales gonna go now to go spend
I'm
their money?
saying,
That is nuts. Mr. Brown, back to Mr. Brown, and then we'll segue from this.
for sure.
Something, not most, because I don't want to put that narrative out, but some situations with black males, when they don't keep their cool, could end in a shooting. So for a woman, a black woman, to do what these women are doing, some of these women are doing, is downright atrocious. And you're the right hand of these white boys. They control these baby mamas, some of them. I had to leave my
I've been
place.
saying it.
I had to have my nephew and my son running. Guess what I had to do, people? I had to go drive two white police officers over to my apartment building that I was staying in. And I had to show this white man, like a boy, that my daughters, that I'm capable of watching my daughters and feeding them and letting them swim. This black woman made me look like that in front of these white boys.
Wow.
I had to go take my phone. I had to leave my restaurant, and I had to show my black children to a white man. Then I had to call the mama on FaceTime. And you know what she did? How y'all do? Y'all swimming? Y'all okay? Y'all all right? Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was okay, and hung up.
And I'm gonna leave it right there.
Oh
That
my God.
that right there is so common, man.
Yeah, man.
And look at that. She called the police. Why would you call the police? Because like he said, that could have went sideways. Just for him to show the police, especially he's a millionaire. So he had to show the police, my kids are fine. Then he had to call her, and then she's laughing like it's a joke.
And
Just
like
to
you
fuck
said,
with him.
he's a millionaire. Now imagine if you're a guy making 28K a year.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Yeah, man.
And that's why, ladies, man, like, don't, even if you hate this man now, even if you hate this man now, he's still the father of your children, man. Don't put the children in the middle, you know, leave that separate. You don't have to like the other person. You just want to make sure that, you know, the father's in the kid's life. That's it. That's the number one goal for any woman, man. It should be that I need to make sure this man, especially if the man is willing and want to and is fighting to be in this child's life,
Yeah,
don't give him a hard time. Just
yeah.
to fuck with him. I mean, don't do that. Don't play those military mind games. Just leave it be, man.
And let's take a moment to give a shout out to the women who are, you
Exactly.
know, who are basically holding that weight and doing things the way that they're supposed to, just
Yes.
like regular civilized people. We're obviously not talking about y'all, but we're in a society where certain people and certain groups feel that they're above reproach and criticism when they're doing wrong. We're all supposed to look the other way, and my I'm all for equality, but if we're talking equality, it's got to be equality. It can't just be when it's convenient.
Exactly.
So I know a lot of women who are on their hustle, single moms, doing what they're supposed to do. They let the father be wherever they're at in America. They don't ask for a dime. And even if they did, that's not an issue. You know, they're both of y'all kids, so you should be getting the help. But
Exactly.
I know a lot of women who are doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like my ex-wife, man. Like my ex-wife. She, even though she put me through hell when her and I was going through our separation, even though she put me through hell, she never used my son as a shield. So I will give her credit for that, man. She was
Yeah.
really cool with the child support as well. And fun fact, I put child support on myself and she didn't want that. She was like,
Yeah.
because she, she understood, like, dude struggling. So she's like, no, we don't got to do the child support thing. But I was like, no, it's not fair. I'm paying
Yeah.
child support for my first son. I want to make sure that, my second son, Latrell, I want to make sure that he got child support as well. So I went down to the courthouse against her will and put child support on myself. And I still went through hell through the process.
Yeah, for sure.
But because she was there, she had to tell them, like, this is what we agreed to pay and all of that stuff, because they were coming with some crazy numbers. And I kept reminding them that, I put child support on myself. They ain't care. So thank God she wasn't a bitter person, because throughout the whole process, she was really cool. She knew what I could afford. And, she told him that I want him to pay this. This is what he could afford. This is what we agreed upon. So that process with her went real smooth, man. But yeah, shout out to her, because she
absolutely
give me hell with my son. She does gave me hell with me. So shout out to her. The crazy thing is, me and her is cool, man.
And America just needs to get out of the gang mentality. Is if someone, anytime someone brings up something foul that a man did, it's not okay for me to just assume you're talking about me too, just because I heard it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the same thing. Just because we talk about a select group of women, it's not all of y'all. So
exactly. So
yeah.
Shout out to my ex-wife, because me and her is cool now, man. We're really cool. Like, I always, every once in a blue, I check up on her to make sure she's good, because I still care about her well-being. Because like I said, even though at the time through our separation, I was so mad at her, man. But over the years, that's why I always tell everybody, time heals all wounds. So,
and you still want to treat the mother of your children correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. And how I carry myself, and I'm a spiritual man. Yeah, I had to make sure I made peace with that, because I don't want to walk around with no hate in my heart. Same thing with my my first baby mother. I don't hate her as well. I've got over my feelings. So, I'm at peace with her. I will say that.
For sure.
I'm at peace with her now. Now my focus is working on my relationship with my first son and see if I can eventually fix that. But that is my goal now, so that me and him can at least have a man-to-man talk, at least get that out of the way. And
absolutely,
wherever the chips fall,
to where at least y'all can at least agree to disagree, but y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yeah.
So now, with that being said, I wanted to discuss what happened in Afghanistan.
Yeah, damn.
That was an absolute major disaster, what I witnessed.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't know how you can be a human being on this planet and watch that video of Afghanis holding on to the U.S. military plane, the flight wheel, as the plane is taking off.
Yeah.
These people are willing to fall to their death rather than live under Taliban rule.
Yeah.
Now, that broke my heart to absolute pieces. And I know the listeners out there are probably saying, well, it's Afghanistan, why should you care? That is not the point, man. They're human. Think about it, right? Let's let this rest for a minute. They know these women are about to be slaughtered, raped, tortured. A lot of the men who messed with the U.S., who was our interpreters for our soldiers, anybody who's affiliated with the U.S. has a mark on their head.
Yeah.
And now the U.S. is leaving. Those people are going to be slaughtered. That's what's going through my mind.
Yeah.
Like, these people are about to be slaughtered. Like, that's I don't know, man. I'm about to get all emotional. I'm gonna read the article, but before I read this article on Afghanistan, Brian, give me your quick thoughts before I read this article.
It just boils down to how each individual, if it, how they view humanity. So don't think of it of another country overseas. What if that was happening at your next door neighbor's house?
Exactly.
Would you just be able to fall back and just watch that and be like, ah, that's them, and just turn around and close your door and it's all fine now? Or do you actually would you actually consider, what's going to happen to these people? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. What is gonna? That's like, kind of different, but that's like when Mr. Floyd, death was live taped. Dude, I could
Yeah.
not watch that. That was such a disturbing thing to watch a man get his life snuffed out on live TV. And guess what? The world rallied with black people. Do you know why the world rallied? Because you could not be a living human being and watch that and not feel some type of way.
Well, but the thing was, there were people who were saying, oh, that the police were just doing their job and he shouldn't have been doing this and doing that. So there are people who do not see humanity.
That is true, but that was barely. Because I've never seen the world rally. I mean, they really rallied. That the whole world rallied. Protests was all around the world because you saw that. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, purple, green. You saw that. Your stomach turned.
To this day, I haven't seen the full video.
Same here. I couldn't watch that. I couldn't watch that.
A few minutes in, I got to cut it off.
Same here. I couldn't watch that. That brings me back to Afghanistan. I'm going to read this article, and then you and I are going to discuss a little bit more about why I think everything went down in Afghanistan.
For sure.
It did. So this is an article from Forbes. So I'm using Forbes as the source of this article that I'm about to read. So here we go. In the 20 years since September 11, 2001, the United States has spent more than $2 trillion on the war in Afghanistan. That's $300 million per day, every day for 2 decades, or 50,000 for each of Afghanistan's 40 million people. In baser terms, Uncle Sam has spent more keeping the Taliban at bay than the net worth of Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and the 30 richest billionaires in America combined. Those headline numbers include $800 billion in direct warfighting costs, $85 billion to train the vanquished Afghan army, which folded in the weeks since the Pentagon's sudden early July closure of Bagram Air Force Base eliminated the promise of air support against advancing Taliban. U.S. taxpayers have been given Afghan soldiers $750 million a year in payroll. All told, Brown's University cost of war project estimates the total spending at $2.26 trillion. But hold on, there's more. And the costs are even greater in terms of lives lost. There have been 2,500 U.S. military deaths in Afghanistan and nearly 4,000 more U.S. civilian contractors killed. That pales besides the estimated 69,000 Afghan military police, 47,000 civilians killed, plus 51,000 dead opposition fighters. The cost so far to care for 20,000 U.S. casualties has been $300 billion, with another $500 billion or so expected to come. Will keep occurring costs long after President Biden's pullout from Afghanistan is complete. Naturally, the United States has financed the Afghan war with borrowed money. That's the main point right there I want to make. Brown University researchers estimate that more than $500 billion in interest has already been paid, including the $2.26 trillion total sum, And they figure that by 2050, the cost of interest alone on our Afghan debt could reach 6.5 trillion. That amounts to 20,000 for each and every US citizen. Videos taken from the tarmac of the Kabul airport indicate that 6,000 US troops sent there have not been able to establish a perimeter even around the runways, where Afghanis are shown crawling over one another to squeeze onto plane. One flight is carried 640 people, with more than 10,000 US citizens said to still be awaiting evacuation, and thousands more sheltering in place. Some were so desperate to flee Taliban rule that they clung to the landing gear of transports departing Kabul airport, only to fall to their death as the plane began to climb. That is nuts. That is nuts. That is nuts. Ryan, why did we spend all that money just to bounce? Like, my whole argument for the folks that are anti-war, I understand and I get it, but I'm also a rational thinking person. Okay, I don't like war at all. As a matter of fact, that Iraq, when we went into Iraq, I was dead set against that. I'm like, son, we are going off track here. There's no need for us to be there. The real fight is in Afghanistan, because that's where bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, that's where they planned 9/11. So my thinking was that's where we need to be. And even if we were able to eradicate the Taliban or Al-Qaeda, my sense of thinking was we need to have a presence. Like, we need to have some type of presence there so we do not have another 9/11 again. Because what I'm thinking down the road, I don't know, my street instincts kick in to be like, I've always said this, right? I said there are two ways to beat America. It's not by conventional warfare. You're not going to beat us with conventional warfare. We'll kick your tail up and down. But to beat us is with propaganda, which is going on right now. That's why the country is so divided, because I believe that's foreign influence dividing us. Number two is wait us out. Wait America out. Wherever America rests, just wait them out, because eventually the purse is going to dry up.
Yeah.
That's why we left Syria, and that's why we're leaving Afghanistan. America's broke. We can't afford to stay there anymore. Your thoughts? I have more to say, but your thoughts.
And so what I'm about to say is coming from someone who has limited understanding of the military, and I might have a different idea of why we were there in the first place. I honestly don't think the people who are deploying our soldiers necessarily care about freedom and liberation of people overseas. I think that we're bouncing now, one, because it's too expensive to be out there, and two, there's nothing else for us to get out of being in a foreign country. Usually we only go if there's something to be gained. We'll turn a blind eye to chaos until we find out that there's a bag to get.
Facts. Facts. That's why we're still in Iraq, people. We're still in Iraq.
Still getting that bread.
And we pulled out of Afghanistan. And the reason Biden gave, which irritates me, right? What's irritating me about this whole thing is one, the reason Biden gave. He said, right, that the reason why he just told the U.S. troops to, withdraw it was because he was fulfilling the agreement that Trump made with the Taliban. But my rebuttal to that is, okay, I'm pretty sure your generals, your advisors, which I hope they did, because if they didn't, you need to fire them. I'm pretty sure they told you that if we pull out, X, Y, and Z is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because the military, I used to be in the military, and I'm telling you, they plan for everything. They have a contingency plan for everything. But with our military, right, they have to follow the orders of the president. So if the military told Biden, which I believe they did, that XYZ is going to happen if we just leave like this, that the country's going to turn into chaos and it's going to be all hell. I'm pretty sure they told him that, but his excuse is, well, I'm just fulfilling the deal Trump made. And now, because it turned into a shitstorm, as we're all witnessing, you know what he said? You know what everybody's saying? And I'm like, am I living in the same world as these people? They're blaming Trump. They're saying that this is Trump's fault. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, Trump's not the president.
No.
Biden's the president. How the hell is this Trump's fault? Then it clicked in my head again, like, okay, this is why 75 million people fuck with this man. Because we do, well, not myself, but because people in the media do dumb shit like this. Like, you go all over the major networks, with the exception of Fox,
Yeah,
the MSNBCs, the CNN,
yeah,
they're all blaming Trump. They're
all
talking
still
point.
mad.
They're
all
blaming
still
Trump.
mad.
But I'm like, wait a minute. When Trump came into office, right, one of the first things he did, which I thought was so foul, was he tore up the deal that the Obama administration made with Iran. Right? We made a nuclear peace deal with these dudes. We said, okay, we'll unfreeze your money if you stop, I guess, producing uranium to create nuclear weapons. And the Iranians agreed. So there was peace. And they started getting their money. Trump comes in, is like, nah, you made that deal with Obama. That deal doesn't apply with me. And he tore that peace deal up. Trump tore up that deal. So I'm like, wait a minute. Go ahead.
But that's how the U.S. presidency works. Ever since Reagan, this is as far back as what's relevant to me. Reagan, Clinton, they all get to do their dirt and then skate once the term is up. Nobody goes back to hold them accountable. Like, nah, bring your ass here. What's all this shit over here? You know what I'm saying? It's just piled onto the next person, and everyone gets to wash their hands. That's what's fucked up about it. I think if that followed you forever, to where you were still accountable for certain things, Bush got to skate away with the decisions that he made. Yeah. If you and now he's smiling next to Michelle Obama, taking fucking cute photos and shit.
Yep.
If you were able to be held accountable until the day you fucking die, and then your kids be held accountable for what you did, a lot of shit wouldn't be getting done the way it is.
I agree.
Because so outside of what people call the liberal media, when have you heard Trump's name? You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker's chilling.
This is why old media can't figure out why people hate them, why people tune them out and go elsewhere for their information. Like, I'm a man that I have to make sure that I don't put myself in a bubble. So you know what? I listen to Fox News. I listen to Newsmax. I listen to ONN. The only reason why I listen to those nut jobs is because I need to understand what they're saying. Then I go to what the so-called liberal media is to listen to what they're saying.
You have to have the full scope.
Exactly. I like to have the whole scope. So that's why I understand why Trump's people, why they hate everybody else. I always this is my message that I always preach, right? I always say that we shouldn't be telling Trump's people not to listen to Trump. I'm like, that's falling on deaf ears. They look at him as a deity. That's their guy. That's their man. I said, instead, those family members of those Trump supporters, what you should be telling them is, watch other things other than Fox, other than Newsmax, other than ONN. Don't lock yourself in this bubble. Even if you don't want to hear what the other networks say, the MSNBCs or whatever, at least give it a listen.
Yeah.
That's it. You just want them to listen.
Even if you don't agree, even if you say, man, this is some bullshit, at least you heard it.
At least you heard it. Thank you. That is my point. At least you heard it. So when I hear this argument that, hey, Trump people are crazy, blah, 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 I'm like, look, man, we all know that, but that's the wrong message you're giving. Instead, try to convince them to watch other things. It doesn't even have to be MSNBC. They're old media. They can go on YouTube to find other independent sources. They just have to make sure they're not locked in that bubble.
Find an avenue to break bread.
Yes. Once
Find
you're
an
in
avenue.
that bubble, it's a wrap.
Because whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent,
Yes.
at the end of the day, we're all still standing on the same fucking soil. So we need to put some of that bullshit. Even if when you get home, you're like, man, fuck Craig at work. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But y'all still need to find a way to get money with each other, to make things work with each other.
Exactly, man. So yeah, you know, my thoughts and prayers go out to the Afghan people.
Absolutely.
Especially those women. Like those women fought for, you know, rights, to have rights, to not have to be all covered up and everything. Now they got to go back to the Sharia law way. You know, nothing but disaster is going to come from that.
And a lot of what we've been taught about the Afghani people has been propaganda anyway. So you can't look at them like it's, oh, that's them. Nah, they're still people. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
That woman that you don't care about, imagine if that was your fucking daughter. You know what I'm saying? What would you want for her? Imagine if that was your wife. Imagine if that was your brother. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to look past the surface of certain shit.
Got to be able to put yourself in a position to relate.
Facts.
That is the key, man. We got to put ourselves in a position to relate. So my thoughts and prayers go out to them. I hope the UN or whoever helps these people get them out of the country, because you know it's gonna be a disaster, man. So, and hopefully, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, man. Hopefully, another planning doesn't happen, but you know, we'll see. That was just our thoughts on the Afghan situation. I'm going to talk about another situation that occurred this past week that made national news. A brother by the name of Brother Polite was arrested for sexual battery of girlfriend's daughter. Now, I am going to read an article for the listeners out there to get themselves familiar with Brother Polite and who he is. And I'm going to give my thoughts, and I'm going to say something else as well about this. So I'm getting this information from The Source, and that's the name of the outlet, The Source Streaming. So if you want to read this article, you can go there. According to a confirmed report from NBC Miami, inspirational speaker and media influencer. I'm going to say that again. Inspirational speaker and media influencer, Brother Polite.
That's all he is.
Thank you. Surrendered to police on Monday following an allegation that he sexually assaulted his girlfriend's 14-year-old daughter. Polite, whose real name ID'd Michael Nowick Jr., allegedly was given permission by his girlfriend to take her daughter to an after party in a Miami nightclub. So we're going to pause right there before I read the rest of this article.
Why the fuck would you give any man permission to take your daughter to a fucking after party?
Because
of anything.
According to this, he's an inspirational speaker and media influencer. Oh my God!
So he's got mind control over Debo.
Yes. Oh my God. I guess I gotta say it right now. I was gonna touch on this, but I have to say it right now. Black people, what are we doing, son? In the words of Jada Kiss, when he was at the Locks versus Dipset, you know, one of his lines was saying, like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing, black people? Like, how did we get hoodwinked by this dude? Huh? Because I've watched the video with him. He did an IG live a couple of days ago. Yeah. He's a very well-spoken black man, very articulate, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. He got the gift of the gab.
Yeah.
So y'all fell for the gift of the gab. Hey, look, the day and age we're living in, right? Son, we're living in a Google world right now. So why are we falling for these dudes in the black community? And we make them rich. This man's a millionaire. Took his girlfriend's daughter to a nightclub. Son, that sentence right there was like, nothing good is gonna come from this.
No.
Like you peeped it right away. You was like, what? Why are you taking a 14-year-old girl to an after party in a Miami nightclub? No,
I don't trust any 14-year-old's decisions for shit.
Facts.
Whenever you go, take your ass home and focus on this homework. You know what I'm saying?
But he's an inspirational speaker, so
yeah.
The article reads, but when they realized the nightclub was closed, Nowak reportedly took the teenage girl to his hotel. Nowak's girlfriend reportedly found her daughter intoxicated with severe swelling around her mouth. Nowak somehow convinced his girlfriend not to call the police, but was served with a DNA warrant in June before turning himself in earlier this week. Polite's lawyer, David Taras, declared his client's innocence, stating, once the evidence is produced, he is going to be exonerated. So yeah, not guilty, nothing else. These are serious allegations, but in any situation, there's always motive. There's always a lot behind the scenes that the public is not going to be able to see. We have no doubt that this is not the person we're going to get. This is not this person. We're going to get him past this and back on with his life. TheSource.com will update the story as details develop. This lawyer is just speaking lawyer speak because you bugging, son. As we say in Brooklyn, you're bugging, son. Well, I'll go on with that foolish lawyer, yeah. Your thoughts?
So there's so much. We have a habit of hanging people before they even touch a courtroom because it's all entertainment.
Correct.
We all slow down once we see the police cars and the car accident. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
For whatever fucking reason. And I really wish our community would get off of this shit because we have all these shows like Love and Hip Hop, Housewives of fucking Atlanta, all this goofy shit.
Thank you.
Just for our own entertainment. We don't give a fuck what happens when the camera cuts off and these people got to go back home.
Thank you.
So I really wish that people would just let the story be out there, turn away from it, and then once the facts come out, then we tackle it.
You know what's damning about this is the DNA evidence they found on the little girl.
What was found?
His jizz.
Damn.
That's the damning part. The jizz was found on this 14-year-old girl. So I don't know how you speak your way out of that one.
Nigga, leave the nut at home.
I don't know how you wiggle out. I don't know how he's gonna wiggle out of this one because DNA evidence is DNA evidence. So how did all of that stuff get on this little girl?
All I will say is that I hope that it's not true, and I hope no one was hurt.
Her lips were swollen.
Allegedly. At the end of the day, I hope nothing happened to this 14-year-old girl. That's all I can hope for.
And think about it. This happened in June, and he was just arrested this past week. So this happened in June. You know what I mean? This happened in June, and we're just now finding out about it because it made national news. He was all over the news. First, he was on all over YouTube and Twitter. And then he started trending on Twitter and YouTube. And then the next thing I know, this man was on national news. So Brother Polite, man, he's a spiritual advisor and a influencer. And yeah, man, be careful who you have around your kids, man. Doesn't matter their status and whatever, just be careful who you have around your kids, man, because
I'm not for the abuse of anybody.
Facts.
Whether you're young, old, you know what I'm saying, male, female. So I hope that a different story comes out of this, but right now it doesn't look good. But
Doesn't look good.
I'm
Doesn't
not
look good.
I'm not for hanging anybody before we go to court, just because that's why we have court. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Regardless of what I think, court's supposed to handle all that shit.
Nope.
But what usually fucks people over is being hung in the court of public opinion.
Yes.
First.
Yes. Yes.
Just to be accused of doing some foul shit is enough to ruin your whole fucking life,
Yep.
whether you're innocent or not. Fucking Michael Jackson got found innocent, and America didn't give a fuck.
I remember that time. You're just so true, man. They didn't care. I was like, poor Mike, man. Yeah, I remember that time. That is so true. So to Brother Polite and that young woman and her family, I wish them all the best.
Yeah,
I had to just give the audience my thoughts on that. It's very disturbing, but I'm like, man, we always get hoodwinked by these type of characters, man, all the time, man. Just because a man speaks well doesn't mean he's a good human being. You know
absolutely,
what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Just because you speak well doesn't mean you have the purest of intentions.
Correct.
And a closed door, we don't know with anybody. I don't know what the fuck is happening with my next door neighbors. Once that door closes, I just try to mind my fucking business. But yeah, man.
It's crazy.
I've met characters in real life. I'm like, God damn,
Man.
you're living that kind of life. Okay,
Facts.
you know, God bless and Godspeed. But
Facts.
yeah, man.
So yeah, that's our thoughts on this situation here. I'm gonna segue in to some gaming news because shout out to my gamer them, to my gamer community. You don't know me for big up the gamers them because your boy.
Yeah, shout out Crash Bandicoot and all them motherfuckers, bro.
Yo, this nigga went way back. Crash Bandicoot. That's hilarious.
Shout out Dr. Neo Cortex.
That is funny. Well, right now, I am playing a game called Marvel Avengers in my spare time when I do have time, because I barely have time nowadays. So there's an expansion that just dropped called The War for Wakanda. It features Black Panther as a playable character.
I read about that.
It's pretty good, man. I really like the story. I thought the voice actor of T'Challa was really good. I thought the supporting cast was really good. The story is about 3 to 5 hours. So in this day and age, that's a pretty good fill. Again, especially for, us adult gamers who have a life, that 3 to 5 hits a sweet spot. And the thing I like about it the most is this game nails combat. Like the combat, they absolutely nail. Like all the heroes, all the playable heroes, all feel very good to play. Black Panther feels very good. I enjoyed the little story campaign. Now I'm grinding the end game. And yeah, I recommend that if you have a PS5, PS4, an Xbox Series X, PC, if you got a little money on the side, a little disposable income, and you want to try something out, I say give Marvel Avengers a shot.
Now I got a question.
Yes.
From someone who is looking at a Nintendo 64 that I haven't touched in 6 years. My whole life, no games, about nothing. I don't give a fuck. How cold is Black Panther's moveset?
Oh man, they nailed it, man. It's in the beginning, I didn't know what the hell I was doing with him. But again, I had to pause the game, look at his skill set, and then actually read the combos. And then once I read, okay, this combo does this, I took what I read, put it into practice, and then I started, gaining muscle memory of his combos. He feels so good. He feels so good. And then the gear that I'm getting to drop for him has really good perks. So it's like perk synergy to go along with the combat movement, man. Oh my goodness. It feels, and I'm playing at 60 frames per second on my PS5. So The frame rate is buttery smooth. I absolutely love it. Like, that's the thing I love about the game is the combat. And now that you can play with other people and you can play with the same heroes, because before you couldn't really play with people, you couldn't play as the same hero. Everybody had to have a different hero.
Yeah.
So it was just a clusterfuck. But now they fixed that issue. There's a lot of events going on to get loot and stuff. So the game is way more fun. Like, I can jump in and play for an hour, ease my mind. Like, I play video games to ease my mind. It's just a good distraction to get away from the real world bullshit. So that's what video games has always been for me, is an outlet. So this game here, man, to my gamers out there, I want to say now, give it a shot. The end game still needs work, but I think now is a good time to jump in. I said it last week on the podcast with these live service games, never going in the beginning unless you're a hardcore gamer like myself, where you know you're going to have to wait a year, but in that time that you're waiting for the developer to fix all the bugs and rework a lot of stuff, I'm going to level my characters, I'm going to collect loot, all that good jazz. And by the time the game is fixed, I'm on good footing. So my recommendation for gaming this week is Marvel Avengers. Madden just dropped.
You hear that, America? Go to OG for all the new shit. Come see me if you want to get fucked up in some Mario Kart 64. I got you.
Hey, don't laugh. A lot of people play Mario Kart 64 with the exception of me. I am not a fan of Nintendo games.
Nah, fuck all that. A lot of people might play it, but I'm the best. I'll fuck anybody up. I pick Donkey Kong every time. Come see me if you want problems.
I'm good, son. I don't want that smoke. You can keep that smoke, son. I'm good. I'm good with all that smoke. So yeah, that's my recommendation. I'll be copping Madden, the new Madden this year, because they added some things, but I play Madden differently. I'll touch on that next week. And with that being said, with the gaming news for Netflix, I got to give y'all the shows to watch. I told Ryan pre-show, there's a show called Black Mirror. That is my suggestion for this week for Netflix viewing. Watch it. Black Mirror basically talks about what's going on I can't even speak. You know what I'm trying to say,
in
people.
Society, motherfuckers. You think it's a game? It ain't.
Thank you. They make a correlation with technology, right? With technology, where we're heading with technology, and you have to watch it. Like, I don't even talking about some of the subject matters that they touch on is spoilery. You have to watch it. It's gonna mess your head up. I will say that. It's really gonna mess your head up. It's gonna have you thinking. It's gonna have you looking at certain things a lot differently. Because I'm telling you, man, the people of that show who created that show, they're geniuses.
Yes.
The writing is on point. Like, the writing is phenomenal. Yo, the writing is so good. Oh my God, son. So that is my recommendation for this week on Netflix is Black Mirror. If you haven't gotten a chance to check it out, I strongly suggest you check it out. Give yourself some time to watch. You don't have to binge watch all of it, but once you watch a few episodes in, you're gonna end up binge watching it because it's gonna wheel you in. And then me and you can talk about it at the JP.
Oh, facts. I get to be shook for the whole week.
It's just certain things they touch on. You're gonna be like, yo, son, we are really heading there. And I'm gonna be like, yo, my guy, I'm telling you, dude, that show is nuts.
I've never seen the show, but I have a feeling after I watch the 4th episode, I'm getting a fist fight with my microwave.
Microwave, your computer. Oh my goodness, dude. That show is nuts, man. All right. And last but not least, before we end the show, I am going to play my man Ryan's song called Yo Mama. Now, you remind me of Afro Man. For those who don't know who Afro Man is, go Google him. Because when I heard Ryan's songs, I'm like, dude, you are Afro Man. You are funny as hell. Your songs sound dope. It reminds me of Afro Man a lot. So I
appreciate it.
He took time out of his, his personal life to come co-host with me today, and it was an honor to have him here with me today because I couldn't hold on a show by myself. I needed someone to bounce things off of. So I appreciate the time, sir.
I appreciate the invite.
You're very welcome. And trust, we're going to do it again.
You already know.
Before we wrap up, the song is called Yo Mama. I want you to take a listen to it. And at the end of the song, I'll have Ryan give his handles where you can get his stuff from. But yeah, here we go. Yeah. Barry Wade. Barry Beige, my bad. Barry Beige.
Oh, it's all good, man.
I came to pick you up. Your mom answered the door. I looked up and down, and my jaw hit the floor.
Hey.
She said, come inside. Can I get you a drink? The way that she was looking, I couldn't help but think. I wanna fuck your mama. I wanna fuck your mama.
Hey.
I wanna fuck your mama.
Hey.
Fuck your mom. Wanna fuck your mama.
Hey.
Wanna fuck your mama.
Hey.
I want to fuck your mom. You were still getting ready. You were still in the bath.
Come on, ladies, sing it with me now.
She brought over my drink and sat in my lap.
Yeah, y'all didn't know I was a hype man before.
In your